evening. Well, man, since we all got together. It's Sunday evening. It's a few minutes, but what? Say some 17 minutes past the hour of 7, and it's time to connect. So, first of all, apologies for everybody that logged in at 7 o'clock and was wondering what is going on. All right. So some things just popped up, and well, yeah, we are. We are live. All right. So shout out to everybody out there. I trust that you've had an amazing weekend, and because the weekend is not over now, is it? All right, and I trust that you had a great week and you're looking forward to a super week ahead. All right, so hey, my name is ANIEAN and this is the Connect. Right, so we're going to be talking about transforming the narrative, shaping our reality, and what's that all about? Okay, so let me just give a bit of a background before I bring in my super amazing guest into the studio. All right. So for those, first of all, shout out to those reaching us on Facebook. I see you. To those reaching us on LinkedIn, much love. And to those reaching us on YouTube, you get the hugs. All right. So we're going to be starting off right away. So transforming the narrative. All right. So there's so much in the times that we're in, right? Regardless of whatever parts of the world that you are at, there's so much going on right now. So much news, so much information is going on. And one thing that I've come to realize is this: the things that people do, you have information that feeds you. Those informations shape your ideology. They inform your philosophy, and then, in many cases, determine your mindset, which then reflects in your behavior. And so with so much information, swimming around us, shouldn't we pay attention to how they affect us, where they come from, the limiting beliefs that we have, how we receive the things that we receive, and how then that shapes our reality? Because our reality is just a function of the things that we're exposed to and our experiences. And our experiences are pretty much determined by how we see the things that we see, how we receive things that we receive, which translates in many regards to how we do the things that we do. So we're going to be having an amazing conversation this Sunday evening. Again, sincere apologies, all right, to those that were, unable to join us. Those that keep tuning in at 7 o'clock and we weren't there. Really sorry from my heart to yours. Really sorry. All right, now we're gonna get straight to this, okay? And I have two amazing guests with me. I'm trying to roll up their profiles. When people have intimidating profiles, you take a while to bring it up. So I'm gonna be rolling up their profiles and bringing them in like that. Oh, the first person I'm bringing into the studio, all right? I think it's a second time. This will be her second time on the Connect. It will be a second time on the Connect, and I'm gonna bring her in a bit. So here we go. Drums roll as I bring in the fabulous, the amazing Medina SALIHU. All right, so I'm gonna have Medina join me in the studio right now. Medina, there you go.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hello. Good evening.
It's amazing. Let me try and do some justice to your profile. Everybody needs to know who you are. So Medina is a communications expert, and you guys will understand why I'm saying this. All right, with experience in broadcasting, media development, and journalism. She earned a Bachelor of Science in Biology from the University of Abuja. She's also a public speaking and personal development coach. So she's down my alley, right? And what? A fashion and sustainability entrepreneur. She's the creative director of Medieval Couture Nigeria and founder of Wealth for Her Nigeria. Medina, it's great to have you join us on the Connect. How have you been?
I've been great. It's good to be here again for the second time. It's good to
Yeah, for
see
the
you.
second time. It's
How
great.
have
And
you
you look
been?
amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, Medina, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Good.
I've
All
been
right.
seeing the
So
great
I'm
work
gonna
you're
guess what,
doing.
Medina. Just hold. Yeah, thank you so much, Medina. And I can't wait to bring in the second guest, so that we can get this conversation on the way. All right. So I'm going to be bringing in my second guest in a few minutes. So there we go. She's joining us for the first time interesting. And apparently, I have two media people today, Little Wonder. So she joined me for the first time. And ladies and gentlemen, the Connect, make most warmly welcome Dr. RIMDAN. All right, Dr. Where she at? Is she in the studio yet? Okay, so Dr. Where is she? There you go.
Hi, DORKONG.
Hi,
How you doing,
Medina.
Dr.?
Nice to meet you. I'm doing so well,
Nice to
thank
meet
you.
you.
Nice to meet you too.
Awesome, fantastic. All right, so let me also, go through Duncan's profile. She's a curious and enthusiastic and determined broadcaster whose penchant for positive change in a society is the force that drives her to excellence in the industry. And I like that very much. As a professional television producer trained at the renowned NTA Television College in Jos Plateau State, Nigeria, she has garnered requisite skill sets for the media space. She currently hosts, now this is where you'll be like, yes, I know her. She currently hosts the show which runs on Cool FM Abuja every weekday from 3 p.m. up until the hour of 7 p.m. Miss RIMDAN is also a talented event host, captivating voice-over artist, superb producer, confident newscaster, intuitive script writer, content creator, and an amiable on-air personality. She's conducted several live shows and red carpet interviews, including the famous Zuma Film Festival, and other social and corporate events. Hey, Medina, it's awesome. Sorry, Dalcon, it's awesome to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay,
It's so good
so
to be
I have two amazing ladies in the house, and they're just bamboozling me. I mean, I was supposed to actually, used to looking good on my show, but y'all just came and you make me look like amazing. Okay, so we're gonna start off this way, right? Usually in episodes past, okay, Mfonabia says she's the first, right? Great to have you here, Mfon. Great to have you. All right, so usually the last episode of every month, we normally do what we call "What Are You Thankful For?" So it's where we talk about gratitude stories and share, all just being grateful. So we're just gonna do that for a few minutes before we get into our thoughts for our discuss for today. So I'm gonna start with Darken first.
every single thing. There is nothing to not be thankful for, honestly. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything I am thankful for, because one thing I do know is that everything works together for my good. So I'm just thankful for life. I'm thankful for health. I can't remember the time I was in a hospital. That'd be when I was a child, honestly. I'm just
Wow.
thankful for strength. I'm thankful for the air I breathe. Look, I can be really petty when it comes to to Thanksgiving, like to every single thing, for water that I can drink, to food, every single thing. Going to work every day, coming back on the same road. A lot of people have passed away, unfortunately, but I have survived that. Not one encounter of an accident, only heard terrible stories. I'm just thankful for life. I'm thankful to be able to share the fact that I am thankful.
Amazing. And there's nothing like, I really don't believe that there's anything like being too petty when it comes to gratitude, because the problem is that far too often we take things for granted. I remember I was interviewing a cousin of mine sometime last year on "What Are You Thankful For?" And she lives in the Houston area, all right, of America. She lives in the Sugarland area of Houston. And she was telling me about how they had some kind of storm, and so she didn't have access to water. And she was telling me how grateful she was to be able to take a shower. I mean, this is something that we do without even thinking about it or anything. But because they didn't have access to water and there was no, alternative means of getting water, it meant that quite a number of people in America did not shower for a few days. All right, until that was restored. And then she went under the shower, and when the droplets hit her, she was like, "Oh God, I am so thankful." And instantly, the next day of the day she came on, and the first thing she said to me was, "Aneka, I am thankful for water."
For water.
Like, are,
Great.
so we
Amazing.
Thanksgiving, right? She'll be borderless, she'll be,
Mm-hmm.
without boundaries, without any kind of inhibition or restriction. So yes, I am glad that you are thankful for even the seemingly little things.
Little
Let me move
things,
over
yeah.
to Medina. Medina, what are you thankful for?
First of all, I'm thankful for water. I would never have said that if you didn't tell your sister's story. Amazing. Yes, I'm
Right?
thankful for the little things. I'm thankful for breath, first of all, in my nostrils. I'm here because I'm alive and I can breathe. I'm thankful for family. I'm thankful for quality friendships, people that speak wisdom into my life. I'm thankful for great mentors. I'm thankful for my business. I'm thankful for my work, my skill. I'm thankful for wisdom. I'm thankful for God's love and favor over my life. Yeah.
Wow, wow. That's just amazing. That's amazing. And I'm so glad that you're thankful for all these things. But guess what I'm thankful for? Thankful for the fact that I have you, Medina, and I have you, Duncan, on the show today. I'm immensely
Aw.
thankful for you.
Yeah, we're
All right.
thankful too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so let's get
Thankful
to
too.
it.
Yeah.
Transforming the narrative, shaping our reality. So I'm gonna start off with Medina. All right. What was the first thing that came to mind when we had and I said, "Oh, this is what we're going to be talking about on the Connect today"? What was the first thing that came to mind? Transforming the narrative, shaping our reality.
Okay, it was an abstract to me at first. I literally had to ask you, okay, what are we transforming? Because if you're talking about transforming the narrative, you have to know what narrative currently exists. What are
Yeah.
we trying to transform? What are we trying to change? And you shared with me, what you were looking at, your vision, and what you wanted us to discuss. And I was like, okay, great. This is a great conversation that we should be having, especially in view of the upcoming elections in 2023. So, yeah, I was excited about it. I was like, we should have this conversation. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So it's good enough that you talked about upcoming elections. So we're going to start local before we go global. All
Yeah.
right. So let's look at this. This is 2022, and I'm going to be throwing this to Darkon. This is 22. It's a pre-election year. There's a lot of drama when it comes to any election season in Nigeria. When it comes to
Crazy.
all the things you hear on news, the kind of campaigns, they're going to be hearing all kinds of adverts and all kinds of stuff, and people are just putting out so much information out there. To the average citizen, all right, how do you think all this information swimming around, how does it affect, number one, their view of things, their mindset, and how does that translate to their attitude, Duncan?
All right, first off, I would say, have you gotten your PPC? Allow me to start off from there.
Yes, I have.
I
Yes,
think
I
now that
have.
we have elections on our
Yeah.
face, that would be a good place to really start from, because the thing is, one thing I think I should have even added in my gratitude list is access to information, and that's one thing we do enjoy these days. So we have a lot of information, like you have said. Unlike before, that it was a struggle to get to learn about facts, and even maybe it would take time, not as prompt as it is now. But now we have so much information everywhere. The click of the finger, you can find out facts about anything and everything that you see online. So first off, what I would say is that for every information that you get, you need to verify your source. Where are you getting that information from? Who is the person telling you this information? Hope it's not after one family meeting and then somebody is coming to share with you
Yeah.
what they think should be and how they think things should be run in a country. So first off, ask yourself, where am I getting this information from? And by the way, what kind of information am I even looking for? Uh, do I do I want to know about the forthcoming elections? Do I want to understand the electoral bill that has just been passed? You need to do your own research. And that's why I started off by saying that we have access to information. So first off, you also need to ensure that you're doing your research. When you hear these things, do you go to check to be sure that it's not based on hearsay? As you know, in Nigeria, we're dealing with that issue of fake news. Even though in other countries, they also have their struggles. Fake news is a problem globally. But then in Nigeria, you know, most recently, it has been a very big deal, hence the recent ban of Twitter, according to the Nigerian government. But you always need to double check whatever information that you get. Also, because we have put people in offices, we have put in certain positions, and we just leave them to be there. So when you get such information, or you're trying to get whatever information it is that you're trying to get, you also need to be sure that you're asking these people in office the questions that really people don't even know who their local government chairman is. They don't know who their, you know, anything that has to do with maybe home. So because we've to Abuja, we've completely forgotten. Now it's very important that you're asking questions, you're verifying fact that you're getting, and when you are sure, when you're certain about the information that you're getting, then you would know how to translate that to your reality. Because the information you get and the information I get may be the same, but it might be different when it comes to how we want to perceive or pursue things. So it's now up to you to know what you want to do with the information that you get, and hopefully it's going to be for positives.
You know, I like two things that, you know, that I kind of gleaned from what you said, and I to just talk a bit about that. Number one, you talk access, and for me, I always say that access is everything. You know, access to finance, access to health, access to information. It's all, you know, also important. And then another thing that you also touched on that I heard was, you know, what you do with what you get. How you perceive it, how you now apply it to yourself. So let's talk a bit about access, right? Access. Now, both of you, and I probably will say myself as well, operating platforms that give you certain access to information, but that's not the same for the generality of the populace. And that in itself is a problem. Do you think we have an access issue when it comes to the right information in Nigeria, for instance? And that's to either of you to take.
Okay.
Okay, just go ahead, DORKONG.
Okay then.
And
Well,
you talked about
I
access,
think,
so it's okay.
yes. So I think that we do have access to information, honestly, because most of us do have mobile phones. A lot of people who are here now, you have internet, you have mobile phones. A lot of us can WhatsApp. A lot of us can access the internet. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people in rural areas that may not be able to get as much information, but I'm sure there's somebody in that community that could get a reliable source there, say, like I said, the local government chairman, or it could be the leader or the head of that community. And that's why you see religious leaders and heads of communities play a major role in a community. These guys have information, and what they say in community. So there's information, but then some people do not use what they have. So you see someone with a very powerful device, but all they have to do is take photos. All they're using it to do is to make TikTok videos. They're not researching the information that they are getting online on Instagram. And you know, there's a lot of information on Instagram, true, false, ugly, all of it. But then if you want to be sure about what you're seeing there, can you at least Google it? Can you at least maybe call a radio station? And that's one good thing about my radio station, Cool Wazobia Info, Cool FM, Wazobia FM, and Nigeria Info. We are accessible. We have phone lines that you can call if you want to ask. In case you don't want to do the research online yourself, you can call us. You can listen to us
Okay.
You can listen to the information that we share, and we have an application as well, a mobile app where you can go and get news. Look, there is people can access information today.
So Dorkong says that, look, guys, you really don't have an excuse. There's access to information. The question is just that you're not putting key in the lock. And I see Medina, nodding bone straight. So Medina, do you agree?
I agree. I
Are
agree
you
200%.
absolutely in? Do you agree 100% with her? Okay, so if
100%. Yeah.
that's the case, and it is the case, why then do you think people, because look, I see a lot of people that cannot even have, while you have a group of people and a set of people that can hold conversations on issues that affect us, as residents and citizens in, say, Nigeria, where we all are right now, why do you also have a lot of people that really don't have the right information? Either they have wrong information or they have no information whatsoever, so that we're very clear. So yes, we've established that there are access portals that people can get to. You can listen to Google. You could do research by yourself. You could also get in touch, because now there was something Dorkong said. Okay, you could get information from your local government chairman, and I dare to say that, look, many of these folks are not as accessible as that. Yes, I know the ones that are accessible, but a lot of them are not even available for the guy in the local government to go meet and get that kind of information. Aside that, why do you think people don't go the extra lengths to do the kind of research that authenticates the information that they have? Still on Dorkong. Medina, don't worry, I'm coming to you, and you're going straight. Still on Dorkong.
Okay.
I think it boils down to interest. What are you interested in? What are you interested in? It probably does not interest them. Where does your interest lie, if I can put it that way? Some people are not interested, and you can't force this information down their throats. But if you want to know what is going on, you will know. And let me make mention of people like Follow the Money, who are doing such an amazing job. How did they start off? They're the ones following the money, asking questions, probing, like poking chests and saying, hey, we want to know, where is the money going? What is going on? And that's why that organization has grown so large, because a lot of other Nigerians who are interested in finding out such information have joined that body, and they're doing so well, they're growing so fast. So it first starts with interest. Do you even want to know? Really? A lot of times we just talk. We love to shalaye, I can say that. But then, do we truly have interest in what we're talking about? That's where it starts, and that's what matters.
So what's your take? What's your perspective on access as well, Medina? Before we come to, because she now talked about interest, which has to do with the way things are perceived. Because a person that is interested in something will go the extra length to try and get as much information. And if I'm interested in, say, a particular area, I want to know as much. I want to be a maven in that area. I want to know as much as possible that could guide me, either help me at least be able to make the right decisions as regards it, or be able to find a way to make it better. Hopefully. So let's start from access with you, and then trickle down to, because let me say this before Medina goes on. Interest in itself is a function of experience. So is it also right to say that, look, because people have been so battered with, say, wrong information over a time, that they've developed some kind of, fatigue to, it doesn't make a difference. If I know this, what will happen and all of that. But let me not get ahead of myself. Let me leave the floor for Medina. So Medina, it's time for you and your bone stream.
Okay. So I think that there's no problem with access to information. If anything, we have access to more information than we even need. This is the age of information. We have information overload. You're scrolling through social media every day. Even unsolicited information is, coming at you. So there's information from everywhere. There's information from all the social media platforms. People are sending you broadcasts across WhatsApp, Twitter, everybody has an opinion of what is going on here and what is going on there. So there's information overload. So I also think that may be a problem as well to why people are not necessarily vested in researching, the information, because we are in the age where everything is fast. You click on your phone, you're getting what our fathers used to read on Punch newspaper spread. Punch, not really Punch as will summarize it, put it in a small headline, put it on your social media platform. And you just scan through that. You're not even reading the body of the maybe Instagram post, for example, or Twitter, which is just 140 characters. And that's your news for the day. And you feel like you've fed yourself on news. So information overload, on the other hand, is what we are experiencing today. I think is also a problem. Yes. To researching better, getting more, when you would read a newspaper spread, you needed to read the entire thing to get the idea of what the story was saying. And that way you were saying...
If I can jump in, Medina, if I get you right, what you're saying is, so what I get from 140 characters, because, it's the most dangerous person is the person that thinks he or she knows. So you have an idea, form of knowledge, but really no knowledge. So you take 140 characters, you just, certain words. That's why we have buzzwords, and everybody just keeps saying certain words at every time, but really nobody can speak to it because they just have this snippet information.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you for free, that's not going away. It's going to continue because you have the Gen Zs coming and their attention span is even getting smaller.
You have
7 seconds.
Than ours.
7 seconds.
Yes. Their attention span is smaller. Tell me what you want to tell me in 7 seconds. I mean, that's why TikTok is such a big deal now, because, short clips and then you've gotten what you want to get, and you get that dopamine hit from just watching a video, and you feel like, oh, you've gotten so much information from a video of just a few seconds, but you don't have enough information.
True that.
So just like DORKONG said,
true that.
All about vested interest. Where are your interests? So if we, DORKONG and I and you, who know that we have to change this narrative, what we have to do is take our ideologies and shape them in a way that they can be accepted by the people we're reaching, because you're not going to change the people overnight, even if you want to. But whoever controls the media can change the people. But so to control the media, you have to first conform, get in the faces of the people that you're trying to reach, get your information out there like crazy. That's what we're going to be seeing across all platforms for the 2023 election. Whoever is in their faces more, gets the most attention. And they're going to be using... No, go ahead.
Yes. Right. So here's the thing. Someone caught my interest again, and a lot of things that both of you are saying are just like flying on my head. Like, oh my goodness. Now, so we have election coming up next year, 2023, right? And there's a lot of info flying around. Brings me to something that Dalton said earlier on. So you have information, you have right information, you have wrong information, you have misrepresentation, and you have all sorts of it. And your interest in it will help you be able to research enough, get enough information, be able to separate. But the menace that we've had, all right, and I'm going to go back to Duncan now. There's a menace. There was a conversation, Duncan, that we had a couple of days ago, and there was an analogy that you gave, and I need to say it here. So there's a menace going on right now where people actually deliberately put news out there that's supposed to give you wrong information because they want you a certain way. So it's not just an error in the quality of information. It's absolutely directly a misrepresentation. In other words, fake news. Now, this has been a buzz that's been around for a while. So fake news. And then over the last, say, 4 or 5 years, it's become a thing, if I'm allowed to say that. And, there was something I asked Duncan in a conversation we had earlier in the week that, look, is fake news a new phenomenon, or this is something that's always been with us? So, Doctor, let's hear that now.
Oh well. Okay, so I'll start off by just giving my exact response to you the moment you asked. So I said,
Yeah.
fake news has been there since time immemorial. And I used the analogy of Adam and Eve. And I said, look, that's where I think it all started. Where God said, look, oh, unfortunately, I can't quote the scriptures because I don't have it in my head. But then God gave one instruction and said, you can eat of every other thing, but don't eat of this one because it would do this and it would do that. And then the serpent came and said, ha ha ha, yeah.
Did he really
God
say
said
so?
this. God
I
said
love
this.
it.
But then, this is what he actually means. You're going to get wiser. Your eyes are going to be open. You're going to be like a god. You're going to be able to know good from evil. And then they ate it. Eve first, then Adam. So you see, that was a manipulation of information. That was, and that's what we are seeing in our society today. The only thing we're seeing more of now is the improvement of technology every day. And like Medina said, there is a lot of information. In fact, we're bombarded with information left, right, and center. And so this is where you have to deliberately sift what you're getting and search for yourself, especially when you want to be sharing this sort of information, because there will be a lot of people who just want to trend. Unfortunately, that's what so many, okay, I don't want to call them new age news outlets, or what do I call them? Or would I even call them social media news outlets? Because they only seem to exist on social media. They just pop up from nowhere and copy and paste, and then maybe put the line that would, instigate a particular reaction, like you said, just to trend, just to blow, just to get followers, just to get likes, all of those things. And that is so you are letting into your mind.
Yeah, true. And again, I always like when you give that example. I mean, you just made me see it differently. So the serpent was like the first guy with fake news. Amazing. and, there's something you just reminded me of something. There was a headline I saw once. I don't know if it was something that popped up on my phone. And it's, you have a news like, for example, so I'm going to call names, right? You have a news like Dangote falls. Massive headline, Dangote falls. And then you click on it and go in, and then it tells you Sahid Dangote that stays at number 4. Obviously, then I hear Dangote, I'm thinking of Aliko. I'm not thinking of Sahid Dangote that stays at number 12, Ibrahim Natural Streets in one area of Abeokuta. That's not what I'm thinking about. But the headline is screaming. All right. Yeah. And so everybody rushes to it. Okay, so let me ask a question that it's a soup question, right? Because the answer is endless. Why does bad news, because this is about transforming your narrative, why is it that you have, oh no, before I come to bad news. Okay, so I'm on different apps, right? So I'm on Clubhouse, for instance, I'm on Clubhouse. And then you have somebody talking about some sensational topic, and then you have 1,000 people in the room just coming in to listen and what's going on. And then you have another room where they're talking about the fruits of the spirit. And then you have 11 people. And then you have 11 people there. And you're wondering, wait, do they have something against the fruits of the spirit? What is it about this group that has 1,000 people flocking in here? Is there something wrong with us as a people, or this is just the way information is wired to flow? Medina.
Okay, you already said it. I mean, when you started, I was already thinking, okay, it's sensational. It invokes an emotion in you when you hear, bad stuff happened, you are more invested. Oh my God, there's an adrenaline rush, there's fear. As long as it evokes an emotion in you, it captures your attention. Maybe not for a long time, but it captures your attention first. So that's why a lot of people use clickbait headlines. It's unethical in journalism. It is completely unethical, but people do it, right? Especially in this country, I see a lot of clickbait headlines that say something completely different about what is written in the article.
Okay.
So, but we're gonna now come to the aspect of regulation. Do we have anybody that regulates? Can I just, as an individual, go on social media and turn my Instagram page into a news platform and start sharing information? And because people think, oh, Medina is a media person, she knows, she's an insider, and then they're listening to me. Is there anybody? Is there an organization that checks what goes out? Is there some way to caution an organization? There should be bodies. The national, journalism body should be an organization like that not necessarily clamps down on, but cautions, those
Okay, but I'm going
platforms.
to come to that because we've got DORKONG here, and DORKONG is with Radio Outfit. DORKONG, are you allowed to say just about anything you want to see on radio? Is there someone that's going to come on you if you say something within the next 12 hours or 24 hours? I mean, in other words, is there a regulatory body that deals with this?
Don't let me get into the love letters that we have received from the National Broadcasting Commission.
Love letters.
Yes. Even say sometimes I listen to other stations, and in fact there was a particular day I was in a taxi and I heard I listened to a particular station, and then they were playing a song that had very vulgar language in it, and I was like, really? You can do this? When even a word like banana, we could get a letter for, and I'm hearing something worse than that. How is this even happening? But no, we are so in touch with the National Broadcasting Commission, honestly, and they are there to always checkmate us to ensure that when it comes to our music for Cool FM, we're more of music than less talk. So even for our songs, we have to be very careful the kind of things that we allow. And protest. There are artists who decided to pass a message during that period, but there were some who, would I say, out of anger, emotions. Some people don't have control of their emotions. So you're so pained and you say, I want to tell a song and just express my feelings. Unfortunately, we still couldn't even put out such songs because one, you could be inciting the public. Two, how true is it? We still want to know the facts. So you can't be saying one thing you may know, but then where are the facts? How do we access the facts and prove to everybody that, okay, so this is what you said and this is true. So the news that we put out, and the Nigeria Info is a news-based radio station, and they do work on the news a lot. So honestly, we are so in touch with the NBC. Let me just keep it at that.
I would say that, let me add to that. I would say for regulation, I could speak for broadcast and print because I've worked in both. The regulation comes most times, I don't even want to call it regulation. I want to call it clamping down on. Right. You're calling it love letters, but you can tell that it's quite the opposite. It comes when you may say something against a power, right? Maybe a government body, maybe an individual. I mean, I was listening to Rufai of Arise TV yesterday morning talk about how he got death threats for asking what Tinubu's sources of income are on live TV. That he's currently in London and he's been getting death threats, daily. Death threats. Just for asking
ask for someone.
A simple question. Do you understand? So that is the kind of regulation I feel exists. Or there's the social media bill that they've been trying to push in the legislative arm of the government for I think 2 years now. But of course, the nation is pushing against it. Why? We don't even trust these people. We don't trust these people to put the right regulation, the right terms in that document. If you read the social media bill, you'll be appalled. Imagine proposing death sentence for hate speech, and they determine what hate speech is. You know, you could say something against. So the whole journalism, we that know, I would just well, we'll get to advice. Go ahead, ANIEAN. We'll get to advice.
Okay. So I'm going to come back to that in a bit because there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah,
but then again, it brings me to another side of the same story, whereby or perhaps let me take a couple of comments. So I have my man Kino Green. It says something about fake news is equals false reports, and Exodus 23 warns against false reports. And Exodus 23 says, "Thou shalt not." Exodus 23 says, "Thou shalt not give false reports." Now, the question will be, what is false? Which brings me to the next line of conversation I want to spend some time with. Now, you can have one situation happen, right? And I'll bold enough to talk about. Let's talk about answers for instance. You have a situation happen. But the reports that you get on either side, depending on where you're inclined, you'd be wondering if it's the same thing that I was sharing with DORKONG in the conversation we had earlier in the week that for a same situation or a scenario or an event, you tune into, say, cable news network, and then you get reports there on the same thing. And then you tune into, say, Fox TV, and you're wondering, what was that the same event as in understand? So this says, oh my God, there was so much mayhem. And then another says they were so organized and they expressed themselves in very orderly fashion. And you're wondering, sir, how orderly fashion translates to mayhem? Or how does mayhem translate to orderly fashion? So what can be done about outright falsity when it comes to projecting? Because look, it's not just about projecting your opinion anymore. And the truth of the matter also is, guess what, guys? Now, when I was growing up, and when I was growing up, Duncan and I were having something about my age earlier. When I was growing up, news people came and read news. You had no idea they liked what they were reading or they didn't like it. Whether they liked the person they were reporting, or they didn't like it. They delivered news as information.
As news.
Now, when I watch TV, I can tell what party the newscaster is inclined to, not necessarily belongs to. I can tell who they like and who they don't like. How did they get to that? How did they get to that? Because, I mean, as far as I know, you're supposed to be apathy. You're supposed not to be take sides. You're just supposed to present information. But now, news is no longer about presenting information. It's about swaying people to believe what you want them to believe. How right is that, though? I'm worried about that. Let me come to DORKONG, then I'll come to MEDINA on that. How right is that, DORKONG? Because if DORKONG doesn't like me now, if she doesn't like me now, if she's going to be reporting on radio, she'll say, I don't even know, I can't even say what she will say, but you understand what I mean. So don't go.
That's not even close to right. Then that's not news anymore. So you've turned the news into a program of your choice, maybe a magazine show. And
but isn't that what happens? But isn't that what happens? Isn't that what happens all the time? I mean, so what is that? I mean, sorry, not all the time. So you don't shoot me. But isn't that like what happens on Frontline TV, for instance? Like every channel, I can tell you, oh, these ones are in support of this. Even before I go there, I can tell you this station is going to project this in this certain way. This station is going to project this in this certain way. That can't be right.
Well, before I respond to that, I'd just like to say that there are different angles to a story. So sometimes you see a story, you were probably even there at the scene, and then on TV or maybe on radio, you're hearing something else and you're wondering, Okay, so this happened too. So there are different angles to a story. So it just depends on, first of maybe the style of a station before, or a TV, wherever, a media outlet, before they decide to share their information. Medina, what's that huge smile on your face?
You're just
So,
speaking as a
Medina always
journalist
has that
right now.
smile on her face. She always has that smile on her face. Just like, okay, here you go, okay,
But Dorkong is
take that
speaking
one. I
like a
like how you're
journalist.
speaking
She's
that one.
just speaking like a journalist right
no,
now.
I just wanted to put this out
Okay,
there,
so you're
honestly.
like a
Very,
journalist, right?
very diplomatic.
There you go. See
I
what
just
I'm
needed to
saying?
put this out there.
Okay.
Because yes, you might see from the angle of you might decide the now. So they're just different sides. You can see from the part of the people, you can see from the authority involved. They're just different sides to a story. So I think we should be open-minded about that, okay, and be interested also in that,
No, no,
to want to hear from different. Let me just put this out there.
no,
Just be
hold on,
interested.
Duncan. Hold on, Duncan. I got you. Duncan, I understand what you're saying, right? But here's the thing. Here's where I'm coming from. The truth, my understanding is that truth is not relative. Truth is truth. Your understanding, your perception is what is relative. Truth is truth. So there were a bunch of people somewhere and they were attacked. Now, that's a truth. You could have a reason for attacking them, or you could find a justification for attacking them. And so if you were to say, well, we attacked them, I'm just giving an example, right? If we attacked them for social reason, then that's understandable. But when people are attacked and then you say they were not attacked, that's not a twist of a story. That's not a perception of a story. That's absolute falsity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the problem because I mean it's a real problem. Don't you agree with me?
Of course, that's a lie. I mean, if it's red and you come out and you say, "Hey, that was absolutely white," the least you can do is to say that when you have details of that information, you would share it. Okay,
Yeah.
but what I just wanted to make clear initially was that, okay, so there was an armed robbery attack at two banks in Edo State recently, right? And 7 people unfortunately passed away as a result of that incident. But one may decide to take it from the angle of the bank. So Zenith Bank was robbed, and three, I don't know, whatever number. I'm just now saying, I'm not giving the exact news. So 3 guys came in a van and robbed the bank, and now the bank has lost a certain amount of money. Another person might decide to be from the family of one of the armed robbers and say that
Our son died
Tunde,
in active duty.
no, you
What
say Tunde went out in search of his daily bread, and then he was shot. So maybe he died along was shot and he never made sense for the family. So these are all truths, just from different angles. Do you understand where I'm going? But then it's the responsibility yeah, it's the responsibility of a journalist to stand by the guidelines. There are certain rules and regulations in journalism, and you must abide by them. You must stand for the truth. You must ensure that you are like the interface between what has happened and the people who are listening to you, or the general public. You must stand for integrity in disseminating information. So it doesn't matter what side you're standing for. And I'm just saying, ideally, this is what it should be. But unfortunately, some people may be favored more, especially now that elections are coming for. This is a bitter truth, honestly. Some people may be favored more. Some people may be favored more by so and so persons and so and so parties, and may decide to bend the rules, which should not be. And they need to be called out when that is observed.
Okay, so first, before I go on, I was wondering why you gave the example about the robbery in Edo State. I mean, it's terrible, sad incidents. But I was also wondering if that's because you have an Edo connection, and then Medina also has an Edo connection. So, like, I feel like the only non-Edo
Wow.
connected person here.
Wow.
But I got both of you, so
I didn't
Wow.
even think of that. You think too much, AU.
Wow.
all right. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so let's leave the I mean, we're already gone global. This is not just about Nigeria. Let's talk about information. We're still coming to how information can now shape national growth, right? Which is what I'll end with. But let's quickly talk about what's going on right now in Ukraine, for instance. I heard the news report today that the Russians, for instance, actually put out a statement saying that they're helping, that they're helping the Ukraine people, as in, and then that's not the kind of report that the rest of the world is projecting. And you're wondering to yourself, how can we be so stuck onto the whatever perception or narrative that favors us? At what point in time are we able to draw the line to say, no, this is not acceptable? Because the truth of the matter is, what will deter anybody from putting out wrong information or projecting a wrong narrative if there are no consequences? And which ties into what Medina talked about. How do you have certain levels of sanctions that will deter people from doing such? Food for thought. I mean, it may not be something that we can readily provide an answer to, or we can readily, but what's your take on with regards to the information coming and different kinds of information that are coming out of Ukraine? Let me start with Medina. What's your take on that?
My take is whoever controls the media controls the people. So people, the powers of the world, they know this. And especially the US, and it's a tool that they use so well, so beautifully, and in some cases so terribly. So if, for instance, I was listening to CNN and I went to BBC and I was trying to compare the news, and from what I can perceive, the broadcasting that is coming out of the US is telling us that Ukraine is somewhat winning this war, right? But if you compare what is on ground, if you compare the modalities, you cannot even put Russia side by side Ukraine under normal circumstance. Russia will crush Ukraine, right? Without help. But what we're seeing in the media, the narrative that we're getting from the media is that nevertheless Ukraine is winning. So we're getting reports of the jets, the six Russian jets, which were down by just one Ukrainian jet. What does that help the mind of the people do, right? It programs the mind of the people to think that Ukraine is winning this war. And it demoralizes, discourages the people on the other side, the Russians, or whatever nation is looking to support Russia. Right? So they know that this power of our minds, power of perception, right, is what they're using right now. This is my ideology, right? I'm not in Ukraine, neither am I in Russia. And it's working. It's working so excellently. It is working so well. So if the news, in my own judgment right now, it is for good. Russia may not think the same thing, of course, but there are times where the news on the is used, what if the US was on Russia's side, for instance, and they were reporting to favor Russia. So the news is, I don't think it's ever really neutral, because all stations have vested interest. We talked about this over the weekend. From the inception of news has had vested interest. News came about when elites wanted to pass information to the masses, and then they would get people to go on the road, and that's how news came about. And then as it developed, organizations and bodies to regulate started coming up, and then power was pulled away from the elite and from the government to the people to control news. What I see happening a lot now is the news, it's kind of an imbalance where there's some part of the news that is controlled by the people and there's some part that is controlled by the government. There's going to keep going head to head, whether we like it or not. I saw something the other day about some fact checks of the US that verifies and checks news in all of the US. And there's a conspiracy theory around that. As a matter of fact, it's not even a conspiracy theory. They are funded majorly by Bill Gates. And of course, you know the conspiracy theories that surround Bill Gates. So when you think about this whole mystery called media and the power it wields, you become a bit scared of what it can do and undo. So what people like us need to be doing is harnessing the power for good. Whether we like it or not, the media is going to have this power. And whoever is able to get that power will use it.
Whoever gets the power will use it.
Will use it.
Okay, let's park this ship now, because I mean there's a lot that I had to think about here. Let's park the ship now. Let's talk about using information to to achieve, say, social development. For instance, I noticed that running through your profiles, both of your profiles and social media posts, there's social initiatives that both of you are involved in, one way or the other, whether it's with young girls or, whatever it is, both of you have initiatives that you are at one time or the other been involved with. And I'm saying to myself, how do you get people, to have the right kind of narrative that rather than say the sensational gist, and I'm going to go back to my Clubhouse and sensation, rather than having 1,000 people sitting down to hear buzz about what happened and what did not happen, why can't we also have 1,000 people supporting girls for, needing sanitary pads? Why can't we have 1,000 people supporting, children that are out of school, or children that are, underprivileged and all of that? Why exactly is it so difficult across board to be able to use information to get people to be more involved in social causes? Because look, let's be fair. You have people that are involved and have socialpreneurs and involved in social causes, but we don't have enough. We don't have people in the social good. Duncan.
In the direction of social good. Okay. I got
in
that.
the direction of social good. How can we get people to be, yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, I honestly think along the line we have actually touched on the answer to this particular question. And but you can't actually give what you don't have. So I was hoping to, when you started up the conversation and when you shared the topic and what we thought about the topic, I was hoping to just tell you a bit about what I thought about the topic. So maybe I can do it now. The power of media in influencing personal and national growth. I honestly think that you cannot give what you don't have. If well defined, your thought pattern faulty, if you as a person cannot add humanity, you cannot contribute positively. And a lot of times we wait for the government to do this. It's the government's responsibility. The government has to come and fix this gutter in front of you. If only the government could come and fix that, things would have moved smoothly. Water would pass and floods, if you as a person has not thought of sanitation, okay, so for my own sake, I think I should clean up this place. For my own sake, I think it would do me and my neighbors or my small community good if we can get involved in ensuring that our environment is clean and that the gutters are clean. And so when the rainy season water can flow easily and we don't have to worry too much about flood. If you begin to think this way, you'd be amazed how much impact that would make when we're looking at it from a broader spectrum. Because, like I said, if your thought pattern is faulty, how are you supposed to fix a problem? Even identify a problem when there is, and then fix that problem when it presents itself. So I honestly think that each and every one of us, in our own little way, can make a change and use the media in a positive way. So you hear that. So I don't know why I keep going back to floods. I think it's just something that almost everybody here in Nigeria can relate to. So, the rainy season is coming soon. But no, we'd rather just chill and wait till the rain is here. And then we begin to complain about things that we know are coming. They're going to happen, right? So why don't you start making use of what you have now, bit by bit? So elections are coming. Let's get back now to elections. Elections are coming. Have you started asking questions as to, okay, who are the candidates? Well, even though, yes, they haven't been said yet, but a few people have started making statements. So maybe you can start doing a little background check and just see if this is somebody I would want to vote for. Look at their what they've done in the past, right? See their achievements and see if these are people that you want to entrust your future into. So these are ways that we can begin to use information well today. Dig in deep. Like I said before, also, having that interest first, then channeling that interest to getting in, and then applying it in a positive way.
I like that, and it's so true because, for example, if I take the election year thing that we're talking about and candidates popping up, yeah, some people have indicated interest that they want to run and all of that, and it's not just enough to think, and this is to everybody and my 2 cents. It's not just enough to think that or what or you think about this person is exactly what is, because this could have been things you heard. Maybe the information you have was when you were like way younger, you weren't researching, you really didn't know, and you've just run with it over the years. And so people have a responsibility, like you said, even though you get being bombarded with information and all sorts of things come at you. You have a responsibility to be able to say, okay, hold on a second, let me try and find out for myself. Let me even look. Oh, this person wants to run. This person was a former governor. What exactly did this person do? When he or she was governor, what was the track record in what was the economic environment as at the time that this person was in office, or this person wants to run? How they run their business portfolios? What are the things that they did in the organizations if they were in the private sector? What are the things that they did in the organizations that they were with? What do people say of them? Not that people's opinion is what determines, but what were people's experiences, those that had some level of interrelativity with them? How did they, what's the feedback and all of that? So we all have a responsibility, because we can't just keep relying on information that we have not verified and we don't know. And that's part of the problem. And that was part of what necessitated that we have this conversation this Sunday evening. How do you now be sure that, look, at least to the best possible, if you're going to make, Medina, I say this all the time, that the quality of decisions that you make, which reflects on the actions that you carry out, is based on 2 things: the clarity and the quality of information that you have. And if you have wrong information, you're going to have a presumption based on that wrong information, and it will translate to wrong action, however well intended. So the
Yeah.
intent is not even enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you see people right, left, and center acting and doing funny things, and you're wondering, and they believe it with all their hearts. They believe it.
Yeah.
They believe it, and that's because they've fed on wrong information. They've either done bandwagon effect or outright misrepresentation, or they were misled, or outright lies told to them. And they've taken it, they've internalized it, they've formed an ideology around it, they've taken philosophies and planted it within them, internalized it, and is reflected in their mentality, which is expressed in their attitude. And that's really where my concern is, primary concern is, because look, a nation is not just a geographical territory. A nation is you and I doing the things that we do, and how the things we do affect each other determines how a nation prospers or doesn't prosper. We are the nation. All right, and that's my thought about this. We are the nation. So I'm gonna give you an opportunity, Medina. I think Dawkins Network or something, she just dropped off. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to share your closing thoughts on this. We're ready. 22 minutes past 8 o'clock, so we need to seal this in the next 8 minutes. All right, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to share your closing thoughts on it. Then I have a trivia question for you. I'm going to put you at the hot seat before we say good night. Yep. So your closing
Okay.
thoughts.
Okay, we can say to the masses, to everyone who consumes information, to be more intentional. We said that, across, this discussion so far. Be more intentional about where you're getting your news from. Try to confirm from more credible sources before you put it out, before you share. Don't just pick news from anywhere and share. Be more responsible with sharing information. But I feel that the bulk of the work lies with the media itself. And by media, I mean me. I mean you, who has a platform, right? We wield more of the power than the people. We talked in the beginning of how the attention span of the people are waning. It's becoming less and less. How do we educate young people, especially, to be more interested in the electoral process, same electoral process that has failed them in the past? What are we telling them guarantees, a more credible, election process in 2023? What is the research that we're doing as media organizations to get the youth more involved? How are we educating them? Yes, in the short videos that they engage, how are we educating them? So the bulk of the work lies with us. I don't know how many media people are on this call, but I'm speaking to myself and speaking to you, Aniekan. DORKONG just dropped off. I wish you could hear this. I believe she's one of the good ones. So let's use our platform, let's use our voice to educate the people and
I'm here
harness what
now,
we
and
have.
yes, we are
Oh.
doing our
Okay,
Okay,
welcome back.
so Duncan, I don't know if Medina can see you. Your screen is dark from my end, but I
I
can
can't
hear
see
you.
her.
You can't
I
see
can't
her.
see
Your
her, but
screen
I
is
can see her.
dark. So I'm going to take you out and we'll have
honestly,
that
that
fixed and we can bring you back in.
and mine as well. I don't know why.
Okay.
Okay. So yes, let's use our power. And when you see a person, an influencer, I mean, we're in the age of the rise of influencers. One influencer says something and everybody is falling at their feet. So shut that down. Don't engage information that stirs fear. You
Hmm.
understand? Of
Hmm.
course, there's some news that will stir fear. Typically, news should capture what happened, where did it happen, when did it happen, who did it happen to. That is news. Then leave you, the person listening, with the work of interpreting, you know, what that is about based on your environment, based on your ideologies. But you have the news platforms trying to force down your truth, their own ideologies, right? So we need to do better as the media. Take responsibility as the listener, as the person watching, as the reader, to get credible information. But we need to do the most work.
Well said. Well said. I'm so proud of you, Medina. Well said. I mean, that's just it, absolutely. The work has to be done. We need to keep putting out the right message out there. We need to also find a way to be able to serve, because you may have a great thing, you may have great content, great information, but if the people can't receive it in the way that they find most comfortable to receive, then there will be a gap, a lacuna between what
Yeah.
you have and what they get. And so the creativity and the innovation that is required, is to be able to find ways. So
To
true,
reach.
like you said, people have shorter spans of attention and all of that, and everything has to be factored in. And so it's so absolutely right, what you've said. And thank you so much. I have a trivia for you before we go. Well, I'm still hoping Dorkun. I'm looking at Dorkun in the waiting room. The screen is still dark. So Dorkun, I know you can hear me even in the waiting room. This is Big Brother AU. Please go ahead and all right, try whatever it is. Try maybe log out and then log in again, and then we'll hopefully have better visuals from you. Then I can bring you in for you to say, give your final thoughts. But back to you, Medina. My trigger for the night for you, my question for the night for you is this. Now, we all have information that we've received. Somebody narrated something to us at some point or told us something to us, something that shaped us as we were growing up in our environment. Now, I want you to cast your mind back to Medina at 18.
Okay.
Medina at 18. And I want you to go tell Medina at 18 that one thing that isn't the way it is. No, Medina at 18 believes it because she's heard it over and over again. But it's really, now that Medina is here right now, I want you to go to that 18-year-old Medina and tell her, girl, this isn't right. Whatever it is, I want you to say it. So go ahead. Yep, that's
Okay,
it.
I wouldn't say it's a particular thing. I would say don't grow up so fast. Don't try to grow up so fast. I know the media right now is painting adulthood and being above 18 or 18 as so attractive. You can be out of your parents' home. You can do whatever you like.
Huh.
It's calm. There's a
Is
lot of
it-
there's so much trouble waiting for you out there. Slow down.
Ooh,
Slow down.
for real.
Don't look at what people older than you are doing and putting out there on Facebook, on Instagram. Trust me, they're having it tough. Savor, enjoy where you are as an
Enjoy the
18-year
moment.
old. Yes. And just
Wow.
live it up. Be where you are. Live your age. Don't try to grow up so fast. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Amazing, man. So I'm going to take a few comments. Let's just go and see what the interaction has been thus far. In no particular order. And thank you to everybody that joined us here. Okay. So up here is, let me see as it comes up on the screen. Seems to have some delay from my end. Let me just, did that come up? Okay. Hold on a second. Drop all the different comments that came up. Okay, we're ready. Okay, so this is from Fun H. Duff. It says, with the influx, hey, Fun, how you doing? With the influx and quick access to information, always ask yourself the right questions. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to yet another comment. We'll just take a few. We can't take everything. Kano Green says, fact checking is our responsibility when we hear a news story. Guess what I have coming back in the house? DACA. All right. Okay, so there she is. Okay.
Welcome back. Yay.
Welcome back. Okay.
Yay.
Faith, hey, Faith says truth is your understanding that's relative. So great connecting here. So great connecting with you as well. All right. So famous quotes. Say from MS. MS is Medina, right? Whoever controls the media controls the people. Whoever controls the media controls the people. Okay, so that's from Facebook. Let's see. We have some comments from LinkedIn. Oluwagbenga John, I didn't know. Hi, thank you for joining us. It's good to be here. I love this discuss. What's there not to love? Thank you so much, Oluwagbenga, for coming through. Okay, so let's take another one. Let's go back to Facebook. You can't give what you don't have. If your thought pattern is faulty, how can you even identify and solve a problem? That's from DR. All right, so we're getting initials
Quotes.
all the way here. AU, MS, DR, DR, MS, MS, DR. All right, we'll get back to that, all of that. All right, so Dorkong, are you back? Okay, so she does seem a bit frozen. Dorkong, are you there? Okay, doesn't look like she's. I mean, I can see her visual, but okay, she's moving though. Dorkong, can you hear me? All right, so we're not getting. I'm not getting the right kind of connection from there. Okay, so let me just say this to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us across all the platforms. I can see from YouTube, I can see people from LinkedIn, I can see people from Facebook. Thank you. And for all those that will watch the replay in the course of the week, thank you, thank you. So this is the first episode with in-house guest for the year 2022, and it's been amazing having conversations with Medina, amazing having a conversation with Dorkong. Dorkong, can you hear me? Oh man, she's. Oh, okay. Dorkong, I'm not sure I can hear you. All right, so it's been amazing having conversations with my two amazing guests. Yes, I know we'll look forward to a time that we can have them both back to discuss further on issues that we find absolutely relevant. So thank you, Medina. Thank you for being such, for sharing your time, your space, your heart with us, and just delivering value. And thank you very much, Dorkong. Dorkong, are you there? Thank you very much, Dorkong, for being with us today, for sharing your time, and all the best in your different endeavors in the media space. All right, to everybody out there, thank you so much. Okay, Medina is back. I'm going to bring Medina back in. All right, so Medina is back. Medina, I was saying thank you for, can you hear me? Can you hear me? All right, so I was saying thank you for coming on, for being such fantastic guest, for delivering value. I certainly would love to have you back, as time goes on. I definitely would love to have you back. I think Dorkong is ready to come back in the studio as well. I'm going to try one more time so we can all say good night. So I'm bringing Dorkong back. And, okay, her screen is down. I can't see her. All right, but guys, all right, it's been an amazing conversation. Next week, we're going to be talking about still on narratives. We're going to be talking about the posturing of public in such a political dispensation. We're going to be looking at how we can use public speaking as a tool for nation building. All right, we're going to be looking for how to be able to use public speaking as a necessary, not just a tool, but as a pivotal tool to nation building. And it promises to be super amazing. The more information will be out in the course of the week. You really want to be a part of this as much as you can. Okay, so Dorkong has been in and out. Let me bring her in and see. I can see her. There she is. Did you just roll your eyes on live TV, Doctor? You just rolled it. Did you know you were live when you rolled your eyes? Oh my goodness, she's frozen media. Guys, we gotta go. So Medina, let's wave to everybody. Doctor, are you back? I really wanted you to be back so that you can say goodnight to everyone. But let's wave to everybody. Much love, everyone. Let's keep connected. And like we said, make the most of the information you put out there. Please be careful. Please ensure that whatever it is, like I always will say, You can believe anything you want, but please be responsible enough to believe in the right thing. All right. And when you believe in the right thing, you will project the right thing. Be responsible enough to project the right thing as well. It's one of the tenets of anyone that communicates, and everybody communicates. Please, let's be responsible about it. All right. Medina, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so blessed to have you here. Thank you so much. All right. All right. So good night, everyone, and God bless. See you next Sunday, 7 p.m. Don't worry, we won't be late. All right. Cheers. Much love, and let's keep connecting.